to do. So while we're waiting for everyone to come in, let me quickly tell you about my weekend. I have done nothing this weekend. I have done nothing. Usually I like to do English well. Hi, how are you doing? English well, where are you from? Let me click here. I will, so that everyone can see. Yeah, so guys, just put your names in the comments. Say how you're doing, where you're from if you're new. It's a pleasure to see you all. So usually during weekends, I like to do some work. I like to work on videos, do some writing, do some editing. But this weekend, I did absolutely nothing. I went on a short trip. Maybe if you're part of, if you're on my Instagram, you might have seen me go on a trip. I drove for a couple of hours, went to a mountain, went hiking. I went to Letty. Hi, Letty. How are you doing? Thank you so much for your kind message. So yes, I went on a small trip this weekend. First, I went to a city called Jeonju, and it's got this amazing, they call it a Hanok Mall, which is this traditional village where you can go. Hi, Mom. I see my mom is here too. I still need to call you guys. I'll call you directly after the stream, I promise. How is everyone doing? Yes, so I went on a trip this weekend. I went to Jeonju. Had a really nice time there. Katerina, hi there. How are you today? And Alicia, I'm fine, watching from France. It is Mrs. Abuela. Mrs. Abuela, thank you so much for your kind message too. It's always so nice. Auspicious Jelly, you're back. How you doing? Katerina, Robin Powell from Calcutta, India. I am fantastic. Gabriela, thank you for joining from Peru. Yes, so I went to this traditional village. I bought some snacks. I ate some good food. And I also went to a mountain where I did a little bit of hiking. It was really fun. English, Max, I'm from Nicaragua. It's a pleasure to have you. And then I'm going to, this is the question we had. I saw this question. Guys, I'm going to get back to this now. I'm going to say hello for everyone now, and then I'm getting to this question because I think it's very important. Somedin, hi. Simar, I'm excellent. I'm very well rested, and I had a great weekend. I went hiking and I drove a lot. I had a good time. My dad is here too. Somedin, I'm great. So on my Instagram, I went hiking. I had a really fun time. Yeah, I like sharing it with you guys to know that you're there. You're preparing for classes, Letty. You're a legend and a scholar, and I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. Nova, it's a pleasure to see you. Unknown, Shohag, nice visiting. Shohag is one of my friends staying here in Hayang, where I live. You should check out his channel called Shohag. What is it called? Bangladeshi. I just saw one of your videos a little bit ago. Quickly write down the name of your channel, Shohag, so I can click on it so people can check out. From Kurdistan, unknown teacher. Chris, hi, remind me of mountain trips last year. It was a good time. Yeah, I think it's so good to get out in nature, to get some fresh air and enjoy. Pan Pan from Myanmar. Hi, and Tamina. Okay, everyone, before I continue, I want to get back to this question because I actually wrote it down. It's something I want to talk about. So in one of, I don't remember your English name, this person here, but she asked, I'm a new kindergarten teacher, and today was my first day. Some children were crying all day, wanting their mommy. What should I do? I am not a kindergarten teacher. I have taught younger students before. I am also not a parent, so I can't say that I'm very good with kids, but I have some ideas about this. So first of all, with any type of teaching, prevention is the cure. Before any mistakes happen, before there's unrest, before students start acting out, you've got to start preparing for it. Now, if you have kids that are coming to your class, they are new, suddenly they're without their parents, they're going to be nervous and sad. There is definitely some separation that happens, but a lot of kids also, it's just a way for them to express themselves. So I was thinking about this. First of all, you need to have some kind of rules with your parents. Maybe instruct your parents to prepare their kids for dropping them off. Give them some kind words of encouragement. Tell their kids that they should be brave and enjoy. And if they come back and they don't, and they hear that they haven't cried, they'll get a snack or something, or they'll get a big hug, or they'll be so proud of their big boy or girl for not crying. And when they drop off their kids, it should be quick, hi, and goodbye. Because a mistake I've seen a lot of parents do is once they drop off their kids, they stand there waving and crying, and the kids also feed into that emotion. So what the parents are supposed to do is go in, say goodbye to their kids, have a nice day, honey, remember to be brave, goodbye, and out they go. I wouldn't suggest them just sitting there and crying and taking their time. So that's one thing I want to say. Guys, what do you think? Put your answers in here. What do you think? Like I said, I'm not a kindergarten teacher. Nadia from Ukraine. Wow, foreign Bengali. Okay, there we go. So Shawag is my friend, and he's also got a YouTube channel called Foreign Bengali. He does a lot of vlogs about Korea, and he's very knowledgeable. If you're interested, hopefully I'll have him on one day to talk with him. He's a fantastic photographer. He actually shot a lot of my photos too. Pramila, hi from Sri Lanka. I'll click here. It's Foreign Bengali. Check it out on YouTube. Anna, hello everyone. Anna, it's always a pleasure to have you. Soma, what is your tips for children who don't have a good attention span? I repeat their names a lot in class. Do you have any other tips? If you do, please share them with me. Okay, Soma, this is going to be my second answer that I'm going to do. Pramila, you also have one about need tips to control students from age 18 to 23. I think this one I can help a little bit with. I think that's a manageable time for them. Marta, hello, Marta. It's a pleasure having you. How was your weekend? Okay, back to the story about elementary school students. I need to look up the name because it's going to bother me if I don't remember. YouTube. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to check out the comments so that I remember this teacher's name. So important names. Just like you said, I think it's very important to know our students' names to get to know them. So the other thing I was saying while I'm looking for it now is, so prevention is better than the cure. It means that you can prepare the parents to tell their kids to be good and to drop them off very quickly. The other thing I would do is have some kind of way for the students to express themselves. Students are going to cry. They are not in control of their emotions. They are not adults. They're not older. They are going to have tantrums. They are going to feel sad. And I remember watching this one show. I don't know if you guys know Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil, basically, he had this idea of how he potty trains kids. So Dr. Phil, he's in the States. I don't know if you guys know him. He's the psychiatrist, and he gives some advice. And I remember one of the pieces of advice that he gave. He said that when you potty train your son or daughter, I wish I had a toy here. Where's a toy? Then I can show you. Anyway. Let's say my bottle of water is like a toy. So he would use the toy and show the kids, oh, look, if this is their favorite toy, it's like, look how great Captain America is. And he takes Captain America, poops, and flushes the toilet. Oh, Captain America, you did so well. And they have a mini party for Captain America who can go to the party. And then the kids want to emulate that because now they have a role model and they've got something to focus on. Now, where am I going with this? So I should stop saying when you have a class, I think you should have a big teddy bear. And whenever the kids feel sad, whenever you see, the kids are getting angsty, you can say, oh, here is Mr. Teddy Bear. He's very sad. Can you go and give him a hug to make him feel better? So instead of saying, oh, you poor baby, it'll be okay. You ask that student and say, oh, look at Mr. Teddy Bear. He's very sad. Can you give him a hug and make him feel better? Can you just tell him something nice? And you know what? The thing about children is they don't lie. There's nothing better than children, and they'll show it honestly. So yeah, that's another idea I had. And then about these kids, I think positive reinforcement is the way to go. When the kids are sad, give them a hug. Just tell them, listen, mommy will be here. Until then, just relax, and I'll be so proud of you if you can work with your friends or play with this clay. But so positive reinforcement, tell them good things, and also divert their attention. So if they're about to cry, say, oh, look at this, what's going on here? Don't you want to play with this, or don't you want to do this with your friend? So yeah, those are the 3 tips I would give for kids that are crying, especially if they're very young. Prevention is better than the cure. Get the parents to work along. Then give them a toy or something, a role model for them to actually practice to, when they feel sad, they can hug it or they can express themselves. Also, positive reinforcement. Tell them nice things to build up their confidence and make them feel safe in that environment, because it's very important for children to feel safe. And then number 4, divert their attention by showing them something else, by playing a game. Have a fun game ready that, oh, what's going on? And in that moment they forget it. I'm sure I can think of some more ideas, but those are the 4 I'm going with. Okay, everyone, how are you guys doing? I'll get back to some of these first. Abila, hi, good to see you. Sam James from France, happy to catch my first live stream. Wow. Sam James, it's a pleasure to have you. It's great having you here. Everyone is so welcome. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll try and get to most of the questions if I can. And Gisela from Hungary. Oh, I need to visit. I want to visit so badly. Vahid, you asked me a question earlier, and I was looking where the comments were, because there are so many places where I have to get the comments. You asked me if I'm from the United States. Actually, I'm not. I am from South Africa, and I'm living in South Korea. Always a pleasure. And Sarah, there you are. Sarah, I hope these tips helped. Maybe I will make a future video about some tips. I know I always promise videos, but at some point I'll get to it. Okay, Letty also says, kindergarten puppets have a class favorite puppet who the teacher talks to. Great idea, right? Like I said, you have some kind of role model. I've got some puppets that I also use sometimes. Okay, Abila, Eric, please guide in this pandemic situation how to use objects safely, and group activities are a good idea or not. So as teachers, we have to make sure that the students are safe. So what I would suggest, this is, I'm not a doctor, and in my classes, we do have some distancing where they sit apart from each other, a couple of feet. Just make sure that the students sanitize their hands. There should be some hand sanitizer in there. Make sure that they are apart. They can still talk to each other, but they should be a couple of feet apart. Some people use barriers. Some people say the barriers don't help. And yeah, just be cleanly and clean the tables whenever you can with disinfectants. I think there's only so much we can do. The most important thing is let the students keep on their masks, and when you teach, also keep on your mask. That's the best we can do for our students. I know some people are arguing whether masks are useful or not. I say just go with it. It wouldn't hurt. And here in South Korea, everybody wears masks. It's not a problem. Okay. Yeah, Sarah, I hope it helps. It's just a couple of ideas. Simar, what about children who don't have anyone to pay attention at home? How to teach them to complete their assignments with the teacher's help only? Okay, yeah, this is all about motivation. Teaching is not easy. It takes years of practice, and I don't think we are prepared enough. There are also lots of ideas that go around classroom management, motivating students, creating engaging lessons. There's so much that goes on with teaching that it's not that easy, but we have to try and keep it simple. And if I can give you advice about assignments, so first, make it engaging for the student so that the student is interested in it. Make it understandable. So if students know exactly how to do the assignments and they've got an example and they know how to do it, it's very simple and straightforward, then they will be able to do it. And then also, finally, there should be some way for them to produce. So there should be some kind of feedback on that product that they make. If they're doing homework, there should be a review where they talk about it or where they show it to the class. so that they are held responsible for their work. So yeah, engaging material or activities, make sure that it's understandable, because if they don't see the value in the material or the activity, they aren't going to do it. So make sure that it's understandable, they know exactly what to do. And yeah, make sure that there's a review and some kind of feedback with the product. Okay, I've been reading another book. It's called, and I've mentioned this a few times now, it's First Days of School. And one of the great chapters is how to actually give assignments. And this is very important. I'll make videos about that in the future. I'll definitely put it in a course in the future, but it's so important to be able to give good assignments for homework. Patricia, how could I make more interesting my online classes? I'm a kindergarten teacher in Recife in Brazil. If you have classes, make it about the students. Let the students share about themselves. So let them also use objects, use puppets, use things they can see, monkeys, animals, things they can relate to. Make noises, let the students stand up, let them act things out. I have a course on online teaching where I mention some of these things that you can do. I've also made a few videos on how to teach online for young learners. You can check it out. And then Sam James, we also use masks at our university. Better safe than sorry. Definitely, Sam. But it definitely makes it trickier to learn faces and names, as if it wasn't difficult already. You know, as someone who's not great at names, the students come, I should stop saying it's so bad. So the students come in and you have to get to know their names and their faces, and now they also wear masks. It's really difficult, but I'm sure the students will understand. What I like to do is I have a small, when I take class register, I make notes of all the students, you know, what they look like, what they like, what habits they have, identifying features. So I write those down, and that's maybe a good way to start learning. Migam. Hi, Migam. First of all, Migam, I've got her on my Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram, check it out. Migam, you were making some food. It looked really tasty. What was that? Like a chicken soup? Not a soup. It's more like a chicken with veggies. What was that? It looked really tasty. Abila, I'm from Pakistan, using your techniques in Puppet to introduce and engage students. I hope it is. And I think we still have to adapt and prepare more. There's so many fun things, you know. There are so many great teachers out there, great kindergarten teachers and lecturers, you know, that I'm trying to also learn from, and then I just steal their ideas and then I share it with you. First, guys, I quickly need to go back because Soma asked a question here. Or was it this question, Soma? I think there was yeah, let's go with this question. Soma, what is your tips for those children who don't have a good attention span? I repeat their names a lot in class. Do you have other tips? If you do, please share them with us. Yeah, okay, so this all goes into engagement. You know, all the students, they're going to daydream at some point. Here's what I will say. Make sure that the students are engaging. That means when you start and you teach an activity, make sure that it has a powerful hook where you explain it very shortly in a fun way. You challenge them by giving them an example out of your own life, and you can ask them questions. Also, let them share their experience about that activity or that thing. Let them answer. So in your classes, it's not just the material that you can make engaging, but the way that you present it to the class. So you've got to constantly ask them questions. You should also keep your activity short and transition to a new one, because if it goes on for too long, then the students are going to fade out. So what you want to do is introduce the activity, or the topic, or whatever you want to teach them. Have a fun introduction activity where they play around with it and they have fun, and then you get feedback from them. Then you teach them some more, but it shouldn't take too long. Maybe maybe 5 minutes. So break up your classes into shorter sections and keep it moving so that they are constantly engaged and doing different things. There's also the thing about highs and lows. You can get their energy up by playing activities, and then you let them relax, where you teach them a little bit, or they write something down, or they do some kind of more a simpler activity. So the attention span, we've got to understand that, you know, it's not up to the students to control their attention. It's up to the teacher to direct them, and we can do that by making it engaging, asking the students questions, limiting the teacher talking time, and also spacing out many different activities to keep our students on their toes, as well as controlling the flow of energy and activity in the classroom. I hope that makes sense. I'd love to get into some deeper detail about this, but I hope those count, Soma. So just remember, you are in the orchestra and you should control the flow and get their attention. Most teachers, it takes them a long time to get a feel for this. But if you just remember, listen, let's make it about the students. Let's cut it into shorter parts. Let's keep them moving. You will be in control of the class. Okay. Let's see. Gavin, wait, let's first go back before we were. Okay, Migam, questions about difficult situation. What to do when the students say, I don't need to learn English? You say, I don't care, this is what you have to study. Yeah, Migam, every teacher goes through this. In math, most students say, listen, I'm going to use a calculator later. Why do I need math? If a student says, I don't need to learn English, well, ask the student, or why don't you need to learn English? Oh, because I'm only going to live in my country. And then you say, well, man, this is going to be case by case. This is going to be where you can either be logical and trying to show the student all the benefits. So you can say, okay, well, these are the benefits of what is happening in class. You can also go the other route, where you say it doesn't matter if you aren't motivated, but look at all these fun things that we can do. That's by redirecting them in a fun way. But Migam, yeah, the main thing about this question is that the student, they're giving an excuse why they don't want to do anything, which is very weak. And they're not doing it because they're lazy necessarily. Sometimes it might be. I think it's mainly because they want to control the frame in the classroom. By asking you this question, they are putting you on the back foot and saying, listen, you as the teacher need to explain why to do this. I'm planning on making a video on this because I think it's very important for teachers. It's called frame control. What is frame control? I'm going to read you what frame control is. I'm doing a little bit of research on it. It's something I think is really interesting. A frame is a set of beliefs, values, and perspectives with which people interpret their reality, a specific topic, or the social interaction they are engaging in. So basically, whenever you're in a social setting with students or with friends or in the world, there will always be one way of viewing it. In the classroom, the teacher should be in control of what the frame is. So your frame is going to be that this is a place of learning. English is fun. We're going to have fun activities in this class, and there will be lots of social interaction, and you will follow the rules of this classroom. Now, in any social setting or in any classroom, the students are going to try and rebel and show that, I want to fight against this frame. I want to be in control. I am the leader. It's basically what leadership is. And you're going to have to learn how to take control of the frame. So if a student asks you a question to put you on the back foot, you're going to have to reflect it back at them, or you're going to have to take control of the situation and say, these are the reasons we're going to do it. Follow me. Or you can say, listen, this is what I want to do. We're going to have fun. And that's what I expect from you. Yeah, Migam, great question. Thank you so much, as always. Sadia, hi, I'm from Pakistan. I'm a new teacher and following your tips is so helpful. Thank you so much, Sadia. I hope I can lend some more to you. Altina, Karim. Hello there. What do you think about peer assessment and its impact on students' motivation? Well, this is a great question, Altina. Peer assessment. So this is where the students have to assess each other and then give it out. It depends how it's done. The thing is with peer assessment is that obviously you'll have students with their friends and they say, "Oh, just give me a great grade," or show me, or just they kind of slack off if they find someone, or if they're with someone that they don't like, they might not be working that hard. So there are a lot of problems with peer assessment. What I would do with peer assessment, if I put my students together, I think there are some different ways to get the best out of it. So instead of them giving points to their friend or something like that, I would rather say find ways of improving your students, your friends' ability. So let's say you have two students together and they are marking each other's writing. Then you can say, okay, listen, your job for this is I want you to go through your friend's paper and I want you to find 3 ways to improve your friend's paper. Suggestions you can make on the vocabulary or the style or the grammar, something like that. If they're doing a speaking activity, I want you to give a couple of ways that your friend can improve their speech, or whatever they're doing. I would just make sure that when they assess their partner, that there are tangible and provable ways for them to support their friend instead of just giving them great marks. If I don't know if that makes sense. I just read this question. That's just something that's going through my head. And yeah, guys, what do you think? Vahid, one of my favorite people ever, his question comes first. Sometimes students are older than teachers. What do you think can be uncomfortable for some teachers? Vahid, great question. I've been through this before too, where I've had teachers, I've had to help people that are older than me. Of course, we have to be respectful as teachers, but we also have to realize that we have a job to do, and that's where we have to be professional. The great thing about all the students too is that you from a very early point you have to let them know that yes, they are older and you respect them, but you are also there to do a job. You're there to help them. So you are going to ask them for what they want to learn. I would take into consideration, I would ask them, listen, this is what we're going to teach today, and I'm very interested in hearing your opinion. And also, but I'm also going to help you in the best possible way I am. So I don't want you to just see me as someone that's a lot younger than you. I want you to see me as a punching bag, as someone to practice with, as someone that can help you in the skill that you want. So don't just see and don't take things personally. So yeah, it is difficult with a bigger gap, but I want you to see yourself not just as a younger person, but as an aid and a teacher to help that older person. Vahid, I like to think a little bit more about that, but I've had interactions in the past with older people, and it's good to be respectful, but you should also use their experience to aid their lessons. So let them know that just because they are older, it's not a negative, it's a positive, and they should also use you as a teacher because they're so wise. Yeah, it's a lot easier with older people. You just need to motivate them the right way. Gavin, a common problem with online classes, specifically the low grades, is their attention span. They have really short attention spans, and the biggest challenge for teachers to stay the students motivated and attentive. I think this is going to come down to what's going on with my hair. I'm always talking about my hair. This is going to go down to just like with real life classes. It's keeping the students active, keeping them engaged, using different activities to get them to refocus, and also if it's possible getting a lot of feedback from the students, because this is a problem with online is it's difficult to get feedback from all the students. So you're going to want to ask questions of them and get them to participate as much as possible, however you can. If it's using some of the icons. You're going to want to get them to write a lot too. So get them active in class and have them enjoying it. It's a difficult question, Gavin, but I think just like with real life classes, you're going to engage the students, shorter activities, and get constant feedback from them to make sure that they are in class with you and not, daydreaming, doing something else. Patricia, how could I make more interesting my online classes? I'm an oh, okay. Patricia, I made a video on how to teach online. Let me see if I can find it for you. I'm going to put it in the comments right now because on this side, let me go. It's one of my top videos. If I can find it in 10 seconds, give me 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Found it. 4, 3, 2. Copy quicker. No, here, and I just died. Yeah, this is one of my best videos. I really enjoyed it. I've been making a couple of tips ones, so I'll just put it in here for you and go. Okay, I'm just pasting it everywhere. Patricia, this one's for you. Okay, and this one, Marta, to keep young students engaged, I suggest changing activities often so that they don't get bored. Marta, I think I said that, and great minds think alike. It's that great. I don't know if you guys know that quote. This quote, of course you do. Great minds think alike, but fools never differ. It's a great quote. I like it. But you're on the right track when you are supported by other teachers. So what I like to do here in Korea is if I see people moving in a certain direction or going a certain place, I follow the crowd. So because in most cases, if many people are attracted to something, then there must be some substance behind it. It's just like reading books. You want to go and you want to find out why people are reading certain books. I'm not saying to run, to run after lemmings. So to be another lemming and jump into the water, or but I think you should look at numbers. What is everyone doing, and then logically think about it. Do you think it's correct or not? But in this case, I want to say if teachers are doing it, try and emulate it and then see if it works for you. Migam, there she goes. What is that? I missed that again. Where is it? Migam, it was Dak Bokum Tang, but you didn't answer my question. Migam, wait, what was your I thought I answered your question, didn't I? I'm forgetting stuff. Okay, Migam, I'm going up to see if I can find your question. If I haven't, I apologize. I love dak tang. I was going to eat it today and I didn't, and I'm so disappointed in myself that I didn't eat it because, it's dak tang, or we also call it dak tang, right? I was going to eat that today. I didn't, and now my whole life is wrong. Migam, question about a different. Oh, Migam, I did kind of answer your question. So basically, you're either going to give them facts or you're going to redirect them and tell them, it doesn't matter what you learn, but you're going to have a fun activity and you're going to improve as a human being. What reasons are there to study English? Learning another language is going to make you smarter. In Korea, what you can say is, if all your friends learn this, you're going to fall behind. And no one in Korea wants a dumb guy who can speak English with his friends. If you want to travel, if you want to get a job, they are going to ask you what your ability is, regardless if you want it. Also, you can talk about how English is now the language that we use for science. So ask them, what job do you want in the future? And then give them a list of ways that they can use English. Even if they are interested in games, you can say, listen, who's your favorite gamer, or who's your favorite celebrity? All of these people are learning English, so you would be a fool not to learn English. Yeah, I think, Migam, sorry, I didn't answer your question like that, but here, give them reasons why, and those are some of the reasons I would give. Okay, now back to where I was. Lanina, I swear, I arrived. Good morning. And Saima. Saima, I hope I'm saying your name right. I thought last time you told me to. Saima has been commenting the most on most of my comments. Saima, thank you so much for your great questions and also answering a lot. I put my students in a group and tell them to check on their homework. But sometimes students are being critical of one another while doing this. Homework discussion. in a group, right? That's why, you know, using groups is very important. I mean, that's why we have schools. It's not just to teach them, but also to learn social skills. And I love putting my students into teams and into groups. And we should also give them some instructions when we put them into groups to check homework. So it's very important to make it positive and to find some positives towards the end where they actually help each other instead of where they start breaking each other down and they argue. I think there is a good way to put them into groups when they're checking homework or when they're doing activities together. You should have some ground rules. What I always tell my students is you will respect each other and everybody has a chance to speak. You can even also give them group roles where certain students do different things. So let's say they do the homework together. One person can talk about what positives they found. One student can talk about maybe what mistakes they make, what they can improve, or what they found in the group, you know. And they don't have to point out names. And another one can say, oh, what are some extra things we can do to make this even better? So you can do something like that to make it even better. Where are we? I'm going down. Carlos, it's a pleasure seeing you. Carlos, you changed your profile picture. It looks great. Wait, where am I? Oh, okay, we were here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Migam, Dr. Ritan. Carlos, yes, I'm here. Do you have any advice about students who complain about assignments and workload? My university students have many demanding courses, and unfortunately, my class is not a priority. Wow, Sam, yeah, this is a common problem I've seen a lot. You know, most students, you know, they're going to say, oh, I need to focus on my major. Or other students will say, oh, teacher, I've got, you know, other homework for maths and science, and those subjects are more important. English class isn't that important. In my own experience, I do try and limit homework if possible when it comes to it. But if they have assignments, try and figure out a way to lessen the load for them, but they've got to understand that when you give them assignments, that it is very important. That's something I tell my students. I tell my students, listen, I will give you a little bit of homework. It won't take a lot of time, but if I do give work or assignments, I expect it to be done. If you have a problem, you can come and see me and talk about it, and we can try and fix it somehow for you, or try and give you some extra time to finish it in. So always be open to your students. And then the students themselves, the assignments and workload. My university students have many demanding courses. Yeah, I think try and do as much as possible in class, and also make sure, maybe what I would suggest is let them start their homework in class, because the greatest problem is that most students never start. They start putting things off. So what I would do at the end of class, make a couple of minutes at the end of class and start doing the homework. Oh, amazing idea. Sometimes I'm such a good idea. So here's what you do. You're going to teach your normal class. At the end of class, you've got an assignment for them to do, or something, or homework. The last couple of minutes, say, okay, everyone, let's start with the homework together. Start the assignment. So if they have to write a speech, okay, everyone, do the layout for the speech. Or I want you to write 2 sentences. How are you going to start this speech? I want you to write 2 for the body and 2 for the conclusion. If it's some homework that they have to do, fill in, let them do a couple of questions. Say, okay, right, everyone, I want you to finish the rest later. This is what you have to do. That's just one tip that I would give. And then, yeah, it's all about motivating your students to do it, to make sure that they know that it's important, and also try and limit how much homework they can have if it's possible. Sam, I'll think about it some more. I hope I have some better ideas for you. Mrs. Abiola, this week I'm working on the theme of Halloween, so I'm decorating my classroom, but I don't want to make the kids scared. Can you tell me how to manage this? Yes. So with Halloween, a lot of cultures don't like Halloween. You know, a lot of religions, they don't like the idea of witches and ghosts. So first of all, you need to know what is acceptable for your students' age range. If you can make it pumpkins or witches or ghosts, make it friendly ghosts and make it fun. And then also, it's all about having fun. We constantly, I know with my background, my parents and my society in South Africa, they're very conservative. And for a long time, they were against Halloween. They still are. But for me, I don't see Halloween as this pagan ritual or a festival. I see it as a fun time to dress up, to eat candy, and maybe scare a little bit. So I would say have fun, friendly things for them to do. Have some fun games. I made a YouTube video about how to, celebrate Halloween. So maybe check that out. So make it fun, make it interesting, and use some elements that are good for Halloween. Carlos, I'm here. Thank you for the tips about word wall and bamboozle. It was a blessing. My lessons and my co-workers were amazed about how many activities on different subjects they can create. You rock. Carlos, thank you so much. This week, I will be putting out some of the videos I did with Letty and some of the other people too, with Amit and all the other teachers. It's going to be really good. Okay, so thank you so much. Letty, find a role model, a football player who can speak English, singer, actress, saying these people can speak. Letty, you are a genius. Okay, so Migam, if you are still here, in Korea, there are some famous celebrities. If you think about them, there's a famous soccer player called Son, and he plays for Tottenham, I think. Yeah, he plays for Tottenham, and he speaks English. So if you have these role models that can speak English, you can say, listen, Son speaks English. Why do you hate Son? You don't want to speak with Son if he comes here. So have these and say, listen, look how respected that person is. Don't you want to be like him? Now, the thing is, you don't want to make the standards too high for them and say, listen, this is what you want to achieve. You just have to say, listen, you need to be open to it. English isn't your enemy. It should be a nice way to do it. Letty, thank you so much for that. Saima, going through yours again. That was a bit high. Sorry for Saima. Lenina, you were here. Okay, sorry, guys. I've been ideas about peer assessment. Have students write 2 classmate names who motivated their learning and explain how it affected them. Very nice. I like that. Abila, would you please guide that could motivate students to follow classroom rules and other slow learners to participate in class positively? How to handle some of the most active students? Abila, this is a question I get a lot on the channel, and it's something that I think is probably the most important thing for all teachers to learn, and that's classroom management. How do you control the class? How do you to get them to what you want? Now, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I will make some more videos on how to control the classroom. I'm working on a big course for next year sometime where I'm going to say how to have the classroom rules and how to control classroom situations. I think it's very important. It's probably the most important thing I'm going to do on this channel, but I'm going to need a year to make that. So instead, with classroom rules and other students, is from the start, you've got to explain exactly how the classroom rules work, and the students have to buy into it, or they have to agree with it from the start. So you give them the list of classroom rules and you say, okay, guys, these are the rules, and you explain why it's important, and then make the students repeat them too. Throughout those first couple of weeks, you're going to ask the students and focus on those rules. If a student does something that falls outside of the rule, correct them. Say, listen, Johnny, what is the rule about walking around when we're supposed to be doing silent work? Oh, teacher, no, Johnny, sorry, what is the rule? Okay, so please return to your seat. If you have a problem with the rule, you can come and see me after class. Now, I know it's not as simple as that, but that's an example of how to do it. These active students, once again, it comes to frame control. They want to push you and see where you go. But if you have rules in class about how they should behave and what is expected of them, then it's not a you versus them situation. It's them breaking the rules or not following the guides. If they are loud, or if they're walking around, if they are messing with other students, you should have these rules. Write them down on the board. Not too many. You don't want a list of 20 rules, but have, let's say, 5 basic rules that you write down on the board somewhere, a big poster that says, how do they behave in class? What are the procedures? This is very important. And I think when I read the book, The First Days of School, I thought it was fantastic because it focused on how we should have rules and procedures for these students to how they should act in class. Now, the problem is that most teachers, it's great when you start, and it's the first time you see your students and you start. But I think when you go into a class situation where there is already chaos and it's already difficult because you've already set the standard and the students have already, they're breaking out of their shells and they're not listening, you're going to have to be very strict and rein them in somehow. You're going to have to say, listen, this is not the way that we're going to be. These are the rules. From now on, we're going from here. So you should have some kind of restart, a reset to the class if you are already in that mode. If you haven't lost the students yet, get them to understand these rules and carry along. Okay. Yeah, guys, how are you doing? I think I've been just answering questions the whole time. If you have any more questions, you can ask me. I see we've got 15 minutes left. It's always fantastic to see you. A little bit about what I'm going to do this week. What am I going to do this week? Right, I didn't do anything last weekend. I went hiking. This week, Tuesday, I will put out a video with a game activity with Letty and some of the other viewers too that we did on Zoom. And yeah, I'll do some more things. I also want to make a video on spelling activities, spelling games and activities we can use, and also this video on frame control. And then I need to work on the series for December. But yeah, I should have 2 videos a week for you every Tuesday and Thursday. And in between, I will do my my short videos and my stories if you are interested. Chris, my students' level is so low. I'm thinking about using flashcards to teach them more vocabulary. Would this method help? And I'd be grateful if you suggest any way to improve their vocabulary. Oh, that's a great question. Oh, that's a great video for doing that. I don't know if you've seen my video on flashcard activities. I'm quickly getting it for you here. It's been doing pretty well recently. This is just an idea on how. This is just an idea, Greece. This is just an idea of some flashcard activities. I think flashcards are very important. You should use them in class. The great thing about flashcards is it's a tangible thing. It's easy for them to see, and you can have a lot of fun with it. I've shared a lot of games on what you can do with flashcards, and I think maybe this video will help too. I will think of some other ways to improve their vocabulary, but vocabulary should constantly be improved. Before you start a lesson, have the vocabulary on the board, or for homework, you can tell the students to learn some of the vocabulary and give them a list. In class, they should start using the vocabulary more often, but yeah, it's just surrounding them with the vocabulary and letting them use it. Okay, where are we? Okay, well, okay, going through. Patricia, thank you. Gabrielle, can someone help me? My Spanish isn't very good. Parabéns pela initiative, Professor. Apprehend, essential. Understanding is essential. Sempre. I don't know what sempre is. It sounds familiar. Termina, I admire something. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Gabrielle. I think it means something about thank you for taking the initiative, and I appreciate the essentials. Sempre, I think, is teacher. I don't know. And then termina appreciado. Okay. Tinmin, help in communication. I'm an English international learner. Well, Tamina, well, it's really nice having you. I hope I can help. In the future, I will make a series just for learners, but take part. Yeah, go to live streams, watch videos, interact with people if it's possible. It's really important. Jennifer, for my students to communicate with my language is difficult. Yes, children love going to work and learn from each other. Oh, okay, Tamina, sorry, I see that you were talking about reasons why they have to do it. Thank you so much for your answer, Tamina. Jennifer, yes, it is difficult, but we have to make it fun and exciting for the students. Sam, thank you. Great idea to start homework in class. Yep. Tamina, yes, children love doing group work. They learn a lot from each other. Especially, you've got to set the frame that they're there to have fun and learn from each other. And you've got to make sure that the students interact with each other in a positive way. Nita from Malaysia. Hi, nice to meet you. Roman, great tips. What if the student says he wants to learn only vocabulary, he isn't interested in grammar? Well, you can't use vocabulary without grammar. They definitely have to use grammar too. What use is it just to say random words to people, but you don't use it effectively? And give your student an example. Ask them if they had to speak their native language, but they can't use grammar. They can just use single vocabulary words. Would they be able to communicate effectively? No, they sound like someone that's not very smart. Thank you for your help. I'll check up on Halloween tips. Thank you, Mrs. Abiola. Seima, Roman, we should get students' feedback and make class according to their choice. Will it work? Definitely. Sometimes in class, it's good to get your students' feedback to understand what it is. You should still remain the leader and, decide the course of how you should do it, but it definitely helps if the students feel like they are included in the process. Definitely, Saima, so smart. Where am I? Migam. Maybe similar question, but how can I make students be ready and focused at the beginning of the class? Okay, so Migam, I do a lot of I love routines in my classroom. I love having activities. So when the students come into my classroom, I have some introduction activities, some fun icebreakers to play. So for students, when they get into class, I do my roll call and then we do a fun icebreaker. And the students are always ready to play this icebreaker. And so they come in, maybe they're a bit bored, but it's so good to just get an icebreaker to get them engaged, to get them talking a little bit, to get them smiling. Recently, I've done a lot of mingles. They've got a couple of words for it, but mingles is just give the students 5 questions and tell them they've got to interview 5 different friends and ask them this question and ask them a follow-up question, or have some kind of fun activity for them to interact with other friends and to play a game. So just have any fun game that you can play. In December, most of my activities will be lots of fun activities like that we can use. I've got a lot of worksheets and things that I use for that too. But just if you start your class with a nice icebreaker for them to relax, and then they are focused for when you start teaching. It's just to get that momentum of the class going. Vahid, I think every teacher wants to be proud of their students and wishes their students to be better because of every president, professor, spaceman, or astronaut had a teacher. And I don't wish your students never became. Definitely. Most teachers, we look at our students, we're proud of them. We want the best for our students. And if you don't, you shouldn't be a teacher. But definitely, even your bad students, you want them to become something good and you want the best for them. And the students will feel that too. If they know that you've got their best, you want the best for them, they'll feel that love come from you. Definitely, Vahid. Okay, where are we? Marta, any tip on encourage students to speak English as much as possible? My students, once they know how to speak Spanish, switch from English to Spanish. Yeah, this is a constant struggle, even in my classes, because the students revert back to Korean. So I've got to constantly motivate them and playfully scold them and tell them, listen, I want you to practice your English. That is the speech. Marta, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to give them the speech every single time. Tell my students, listen, guys, this is English class. If you don't understand something, maybe you can use a little Korean, but I want you to practice your English, because outside, you're going to speak Spanish the whole time. But when you're here, you need to practice your English. This is your one opportunity. So give them that speech every single time. They should have it ingrained in their mind that this class is for practicing their speaking. They shouldn't be shy. That's what they need to focus on. And Yeah, Vahid, no teacher wants their student to be bad and go to jail. Definitely. Sempre, always. Thank you, Letty. Hi, sir. How do we motivate kids about writing more? Okay, Santoshi, I need to write this down now. Writing activity video. Okay, the thing about Santoshi, the thing about writing is it's such an underappreciated skill. We definitely need to encourage our students to write more. Now, I feel like there are so many fun ways that we should include writing. In the past, what would your teacher tell you? They would tell you, listen, you have to write 500 words on this, or I want you to write 4 paragraphs on this. Now, while it is very important to give students a limit so that they know what they do, I think you should try and make it fun too. So, for example, if you ask them to write something, ask them to include 10 adjectives, right? Or tell them to write a story and, it should end with a plant, or it's just because I've got my plant here. Make it fun and give them hidden instructions with the writing. So if you tell the students, and I think the thing with writing is it's very difficult just to start. So if you should give them a place to start from when it comes to writing. So if they have to write a story, start the story for them. Say, oh, it's a sunny Thursday. So now they start thinking, oh, it's a sunny Thursday. What do I do on Thursdays? Or you can say, oh, I'm at the park with my best friend, and then something happens. So have a place for them to start their writing activity, have goals for them to reach, and have some hidden interesting ways for them to try and be creative. The thing with writing is it's very difficult to start, but once they get started, they should be able to use their creativity. They should be able to feel like they completed a mission. So even if it's not just creative writing, if it's for grammar or just for writing in general, there should be some kind of motivation for them to do it to do it better. Oh, I see the question is, how do you motivate the kids? Yeah, interesting topics have some hidden things they have to add in it, some hidden mission. I see my voice. Oh, I haven't even drank water. It's one of these episodes again where I talk for nonstop for 1 hour. And now at the end, I drink something. Oh, first, I want to say, Galina. Hi, Galina. A very useful topic. Every beginning is very important. Yeah, every beginning, very important, because if you start strong, you can finish strong. Santoshi, I feel like I haven't exactly explained this about motivating kids to write more. I think have fun challenges for them. And I've written it down. It's one of the videos I've been promising to make for the last 6 months. I've got some ideas of what to do. I just need to research it more. First, this week, I'm just going to finish my editing, and then next week I'll start with all the new videos that I plan. So maybe it won't come out for the next week or two, but I'll definitely get started with it next time. Vahid, I'm going to finish with you. Thank you for answering every person's questions, and I wish you an active work week. Vahid, thank you so much. Good luck with your week. You're almost going home in November. I'm very proud. Vahid is in Russia, but he's going back home soon to visit his kids and grandkids. It's going to... Elsa, you got late. I'm about to say goodbye, but it's always so nice to see you. Elsa, how are you doing? Today, everybody was asking me so many questions. I hope I answered everyone's questions. I know sometimes I don't completely answer it, so I'm sorry about that. Mazra, hi Mazra. I'm about to say goodbye. Elsa, just seeing your name gives me a smile. You just saw it. Everyone, thank you so much for your great questions. Maria, you're here too now. You came with Elsa. Yeah, I'm just about to say goodbye because my hour is almost up. I think I've answered some questions. Everyone, I hope you had a good time. If you have any more questions, you can put it in the links below. And every Monday, I'm making those weird stories for 15 seconds. If you have any questions, put it in there and I'll try to answer. thank you so much for all your support and kind words. If I miss your comment or if I don't answer it exactly, I'm sorry about that. I try to get to everyone's, or at least try and do that. Mrs. Abiola, have a nice week. Thank you for coming. Sam, it was great having you here. Thank you for your great questions. It made me think because, I'm also busy with students. Liwell, hi, I arrived late thanks for the video. Helps a lot. I'm so happy to hear that. Okay, everyone, you know who you are. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you all next week. Everyone, bye-bye.